Hello everyone, welcome back to Perfectly Imperfect Designs. Today I'm going to be making a shabby chic wreath. This is a sign that I'm going to be using. I think it's very pretty, very Victorian or just shabby chic. I love shabby chic everything. I'm going to be using a 14-inch wreath frame. The ribbons that I've chose are the fuchsia pink, the beautiful flowers, could be roses or peonies, and the light pink. I'm going to use 3 separate ribbons in each twist tie. I'll also be using this. Again, this color and pattern is going into every twist tie. The kind of off-white burlap, again with the 1.5 inch pink. I'll be alternating back and forth every other one. Today I'm going to be making what is known as a pancake style wreath. Let me get some room here. For the pancake style wreath, you only put 12 pipe cleaners on it. So you start with the first 2, like this. Say you have bar 1, 2, 3, 4. Put it underneath the first and second one, tie it on there, twist a couple times, go to the next intersection or crossbar. Each one of these is a crossbar. We're going to put one on the inside of every crossbar on these 2. So, okay, for the last one, oh, I have one more. Now for the last one, put this one on the inner 2 rings, and then we'll add them to the outside 2 rings, which will be 1, 2. We're putting them on 3 and 4. And what I'm going to do is just try to eyeball the center of these 2. Put it on these 2 outer rings. Get it as centered as you can. Pull them pretty tight so they don't slide. If you put them on 2 rings at once, they should not slide as much as they would if you just put it wrapped around 1 ring. There's just actually no way for the pipe cleaner to have any traction or anything to hold on to, if you know what I mean. Again, this is called the pancake style wreath. The purpose of this wreath is to go between a storm door and a house door. I live in Indiana. Most people in Indiana have storm doors because it snows quite a bit and the wind blows. So the purpose of this is to be able to hang on your house door and still be able to shut your screen door without it turning out all smashed and not very nice looking. These wreaths are very popular in my area. Okay, so now I have 12 pipe cleaners on it, all the way around it. Now what I'm going to do, I have 10-inch faux burlap mesh. I'm going to cut my pieces to 20 inches. So I'm going to be cutting these. I use a rotary cutter to cut my mesh. You don't have to. If you don't have one, you can use your scissors. Okay, I'm going to cut the remaining part of the mesh, and I will meet you back here when I get done. Okay, I have the mesh cut into 20-inch increments. You'll need 12 pieces. I take my piece of mesh, curl side down, fold it under on the part that I'm starting from. Start walking my fingers straight up the center. stay in the middle as much as you possibly can until you have a ruffle that looks like this. Oh, I keep forgetting I moved my camera when we moved. This is what your ruffle will look like. Take it, lay it down into your frame, trying to keep that center as flat as you possibly can. Twist it on. Now, what we're going to do is make this mesh overlap, pulling the bottom like this. We're going to try to make this as flat as we possibly can, and you'll be totally amazed at how it doesn't even look flat when we get done. When you're looking at it from the side, it will, but when you're looking at it from the front, it won't. Okay, so our first ruffle is on. I like to put my center ones facing down. I will pull them back out when I start on the inner rings. Okay, the next one. Hold it under. Try to stay right in the center. Just walk your fingers up the middle. I like to try to grab that end while it's already tucked under. Go to your next pipe cleaner. Lay it down in there. Tighten it. Moving on to the next one. Now this does conceal the fraying on the mesh, all mesh frays. I do have the sign available in my shop if you'd like to check that out. This is not a sign and ribbon kit, however I do have other ones in there. This down in here just like I did the other ones. Bring it over here. I want to overlap it and kind of pull it under so that my ruffle will lay flat. It kind of looks like a flower now at this point. You want it to lay flat. You don't want it to stick up. Tuck it under. Going up the middle. Again, my 10-inch mesh is cut to 20 inches each. Each piece is cut to 20 inches. My ribbons that I'm going to be using are cut to 14 inches. And take this, lay it down in there. As flat as you can get it there in the center. Overlap. Tucking it down under. So you got what looks like a little flower there. Everything flat. Flat like a pancake, hence the name. Okay, the last one on the outside of our frame. Now you're probably thinking, well, you can still see the frame. Well, you won't be able to. Just work with me. You'll see it here in a minute. Okay. Under. Up the middle. Squeeze. And lay this down into our last pipe cleaner on the outside. Bring it overlap that while you're tucking it down because you want everything to be flat. Okay, before we start on the outside, we add the ribbon. On the inside, we add the ribbon to the outside. Okay, I'm going to be using these 3 ribbons again. And these 3 ribbons. So let's get started. Where this one goes. Okay, so I'm using 2 2.5 inch and 1 1.5 inch. Fold them in the center, crease it, open it back up, pull it together here in the middle. Now these ribbons are kind of thick. It's okay, we'll make it work. Now I just take my pipe cleaner, lay the ribbons down in there, and tighten it up. I'm going to cut this off, leaving a little bitty piece so I can tuck that back under just for extra protection, so I know the ribbon is not going to fall out. You want to pull the ribbons up and then fan them out, separating them like this. Okay, to the next one. This time we'll be going in with the flowered ribbon, the fuchsia pink, and the light pink 1.5 inch ribbon. And I'll be alternating so we completely do the outside. Guys, I gotta fix this one. It's not dovetailed right. Hold on just a second. We will complete the outside with the mesh, the ribbons, the whole shebang, and then move on to the inside again, so that we don't have to touch it very much. Okay, I folded these in half, find my center. Hopefully you can see me. Go up the middle. Like this, lay it down to the pipe cleaner, and tie it up. They're 14 inches long. I usually cut my ribbons 12 inches long, but let me show you what we got going on so far. Those are the ribbons, and yes, you still can see right through the frame, but stick with me. Stay with me now. Okay, for this one, we're going back to the floral print on the bottom. The white and the pink. Fold it in half. Scrunch it up the middle. Spread it out. Sorry guys, sometimes I get quiet when I start concentrating. But, you know, not everybody likes constant talking. Okay, there we go. Well, I didn't cut that one off. Leave some of it sticking out, so you have just like a little nub right there. And push it down in there. me see if I can get these to lay better this way. There. Get this one off. Down there. And if you've never been here before, my name is Teresa. You are at Perfectly Imperfect Designs. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. Be happy to have you. I make several different kinds of wreaths. Okay, now back in with the fuchsia pink, or fuchsia flower and light pink. Crease it. Scrunch it up. Lay it down in here. Cut this off. Alright, you guys get the idea of what I'm doing on the outside. I'm going to add the ribbon tails to these two remaining pipe cleaners, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to do the inside. Hold on just a second. Okay, now I have all of the ribbons placed on the outside ring, 2 rings, and I put all my ribbons on. So now I want to make sure these are standing up. And you guys are probably going to wonder why I'm getting ready to do what I'm going to do, but it's the whole concept of the pancake wreath. Okay, so now I'm going to come in with my next piece. And I will be doing the exact same thing, tucking this end under, walking my fingers up the middle, trying to stay in the center the best I can. Getting a hold of that. And then I'm going to get to this pipe cleaner, and I'm going to lay this over the top of everything that I just got done putting in. Now, you probably think, why am I covering it all up? Well, actually, I'm not, but you don't see it that far yet. Remember, the whole purpose is to keep it flat. Make sure this one lays down like I want it to. Okay, now we're going to overlap these pieces. Bring them out. Come up here in the middle and overlap it. And tuck it under. You want your flower shape, again, just like we did on the outside. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and place my ribbons in the ruffles that I put down, so I won't have to come back and touch these anymore. Like I said, everything, or every type of mesh phrase, crease it, scrunch it up on the table, in your hand, whatever's most comfortable for you. This ribbon's just pretty thick. Okay, so now I'm going to go right on top of the other one and give it a few twists. Here, cut this off. Tuck it down in there. And spread out your ribbons. Okay, I'm going to be moving on to the next pipe cleaner. Piece of mesh out. Throw this under. Now, if you have problems keeping your mesh straight, or you may have problems staying in the middle, what you can do is take a rock, or anything heavy, not necessarily dough, you don't have to have a rock, set it on there, and then walk your fingers up the center, and it is quite a bit easier to stay in the middle this way. I like to make sure my ruffle is like equal on both sides before I place it into the pipe cleaner. I'm going to take my ruffle, put it straight down on top of here, tighten it. Now I'm going to do the same thing, overlap, hand up underneath there, pushing it down. You're trying to make it flat. Overlap and push it down all the way around. So it somewhat looks like a flower. Now for my next set of ribbons, fold them, find the center, lay it down, crease it up the middle. Try to make sure that you get this center right here as flat as possible and lay it down. And tighten it up. Take your pipe cleaner, leaving a little stub right there so that you can bend that back in there. It's not going to scratch anybody's door. And fan out your ribbon tails. Now everybody does this different, where they place their tails and stuff. But for this particular wreath, I'm kind of wanting, I'm wanting to cover it, of course, so that you can't see the frame. Nobody wants to see the frame. The frame is not attractive. Okay, on to the next one. Again, this is faux jute mesh. I will have a item number for the mesh listed down below, along with all the other instructions. And if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave them down below. I try to get to all of my questions and comments. Sometimes it takes me a few days, but I do try to get to them. Place this down in here. And tighten it up. Go ahead and add my ribbon on the white now. Crease it. And again, cut it off. Now, normally when I make a wreath, I don't use 14-inch ribbon tails. I'm sorry, I think I said that earlier. But for this type of wreath, pancake style, this style of wreath, I like for the ribbon, I like for there to be, you know, I like for the ribbon to stand out, cover up what it needs to cover up, and do its job when you're making this style of wreath. Okay, we only have 3 more to go, and then I'll be adding the sign and the bow. Lay this one down in here. And again, this isn't a sign and ribbon kit, but I do have the sign available in my store, listed below. Now my Etsy shop is called Perfectly Imperfect US. And it kind of looks like Perfectly Imperfect Us. But the US is the United States, of course, not us. Okay. My last ribbon set with the white ribbon in it. There we go. And last but not least, our final ruffle goes in right here. You are no longer able to see the frame whatsoever. I'll be giving you guys a good look at it. As soon as I get everything, I want to get the bow and the sign on it. Okay. The last one is going in. Okay, so now we have what is called the pancake wreath. Look how thin it is from the side, you guys. It's not going to get smashed in between 2 doors. So now we're going to move on to the bow. I think it's very pretty. Hopefully I'm getting the whole wreath in the picture. And I mean, it's pretty wide. Okay, for the sign, remember what I did with it. Again, this is the sign that we're going to be using. I'm not sure if I'm going to place it in the middle, to the side. I don't know yet. I do know that we're going to make a bow now. And remember, the bow cannot be big and fluffy and glorious either. It's still going to be pretty, but it just can't be too thick or you won't be able to shut the door without smashing it. Again, I don't want this to be super big. It's not going to have long tails. Well, just depending on what you call long. I'm going to do an 8-inch tail. So I got to put the ribbon down in there and twist it so that the wrong side is facing up. So when I bring it around and pull it back around here, the good side's facing up. I'm only going to 5, making 5-inch loops. Okay, you guys, I got interrupted there for a minute. What I'm going to do is take this ribbon, lay it down in here as well. These loops are going to be quite a bit shorter. Not a whole lot shorter. Just remember, we're trying to make this really flat. I don't necessarily have to use all the same ribbons in the bow that I did with my tails. Okay. And now I'm going to take this one strip of ribbon that I have here. I'm simply going to scrunch it in the middle, put it in facing up. I have one more that's shorter, but you know, I'll go through and cut my tails when I get done. Put it in facing down. Now I'm just going to put in some pink, plain light pink ribbon. Then I will do this ribbon on the very top. I think I'm going to go in with pink. Yeah, why not? Make my tail. Like I said, all these tails will be cut. Go around. That. I like to take both loops, hold them up, see if they're the same. We try to do one more with this pink. I'm not sure I'm going to go back in with the flowered ribbon on the top. Just not too sure yet. I do like this with the two. I like to move my loops to where I think I'm going to want them before I put my, or while I'm fluffing my bow up. I like to put my loops where I'm going to want them while my bow is on the bow maker. Okay, let me see if I think I'm going to want any more. I don't want to get too carried away. I'm going to add this right into here. So I have some tails hanging down. And then I'll just make a couple loops. Since I have it, I'm just going to do one on both sides. You guys, it is so hot under these lights. You have to invest in a fan. Okay, pull this down. And cut it off. Okay, now I'm going to take a zip tie. You know, while I have it like this, I think I'm going to go ahead and add what I wanted to add. Just some little bit of more shabby chicness. So I have it to this. Let me see. I have beads. I could pull in some green. That might look cute. Just in the bow. Let's see. Put it through here. Just dangling down. Like that. I could add a little bit of beads to it. This one looks super shabby. That looks pretty. I'll add a little bit more greenery. You guys let me know down below if you would have kept the greenery in it or not. Of course, you can't really tell yet until you see it hanging up. Okay, I'm going to take my long zip tie, put it underneath here. Making sure I have it underneath all of the layers. Clasp it, not tightening it up though. And I'm going to take it out. Move my bow maker out the way. Scoot it over without your stack falling down. This is probably one of my most difficult things to do. Okay. Squeeze it, tighten it, not all the way. Because now what I need to do is turn it this way, turn it up face down, take a handy dandy pipe cleaner, put it through, folding it in half, tighten a little bit more. Now I have a pipe cleaner to tie my bow onto the wreath. Okay. I want these to go up. Now remember, I still have to make sure my tails are all cut and pretty and fluffed out. And for now, just make sure all tails are facing down. It's just easier that way. Starting back. It's easier to start from one side, do the whole thing, and then go to the other. Looking pretty shabby. Okay, now these two up here I will be cutting down a bit, and I'll be cutting down these. So now, holding on to the pipe cleaner, I can tighten my bow up the rest of the way and cut the remaining zip tie off. Now I just smashed everything again. That's just the way it goes. Fluff it all out, but of course I'll be fluffing it out even more once I get it on the wreath. Okay, for these, I do want these to be a bit shorter. I'm just going to put them together and cut them down so they're not so high up there. Now you guys, all your bow tails don't have to be exactly the same length, and it's just your preference. I used to not like them the same length at all. It just depends on what kind of wreath I'm making. Now I can do these. Fold these in half. Dovetail. Same with this. And when I get it placed on the wreath, then I'll probably cut down my beads and the vine that I put on it. I just did that because I think it adds a little bit more shabbiness. Yeah, that's way too long. Let's see if I can get this cut. Okay, turn the wreath back over. Decide where I want my bow and where I want to place the sign. I kind of like it side by side, but maybe I like it top and bottom. That's cute too. If I was live, I could ask you guys which one you like better, but I'm not. Let me hold it up for a second. Okay. I am going to put my sign at the top, my bow at the bottom. Now on my sign, I have these cable mounts, cable tie mounts. There's no reasoning for them being different colors besides the fact that I didn't have 4 black ones, so I had a white one. What I do, I take the sticky adhesive off of this, take some E6000 and some hot glue, put it on there, then you got to wait for it to dry for a while. So it's a good idea if you're going to be using these. I'll have them linked down below to, you know, don't ever just use hot glue, because it just depends, you know, if you sell your wreath and it's going to a different state or even the state you live in. If the climate gets hot, hot glue melts when it gets hot. So don't ever count on just hot glue. Put this through, tie it on, same to this one. Now I'm going to place my, let's see, do I want the top to be pink or do I want the top to be white? I think I'm going to go like this. Put them on. Get my handy dandy yarn needle out of here. There we go. Okay, take my yarn needle, put my pipe cleaner through it, clasp it on, and go right through my mesh. That's going to help stabilize my sign even better. Well, I think I got it up too high though. Let me see where this one is. Might have to take that bottom one out and start over. Let me turn it my way. Getting as close to the frame as possible. Now I'm going to place my bow while I have 2 of the pipe cleaners on here, just to see if my sign's put on where I want it to be. And it is. So now I can put the side pipe cleaners in. Again, I'm going right through my mesh. It's just another stability factor for all of it. But never tie it directly to just the mesh. There really isn't any certain way that you have to make sure your sign's on. You just want it on there good. Again, of course, I'll be going around and fluffing out all of my ribbons after I get my sign where I want it. So I'm going to wrap this around here a couple times. And the same with this. Always want to make sure I leave myself time to move anything that does not look centered or the way that I want it to look, because of course everything on a wreath isn't centered. And there's my sign. Now I'm going to add the bow. I love it, you guys. I think it's so pretty and so shabby. Okay, I don't want to cover up the sign, but again, I'm trying to keep things flat. So rather than making my bow super fluffy, I just want it to be like super large, wide. Okay, so now for my bow. And I can pretty much feel now where my pipe cleaners came out. And I want to make sure that I don't want it, you know, sinking down in there very much. Although it is okay if this bow sinks just a tad bit, because, again, the pancake wreath shouldn't have a bow that stands out so big that it's going to get smashed, because then it's just kind of doesn't go along with the theme of the pancake style wreath. Again, this isn't my idea. Melly Mel created this kind of wreath, this type of wreath. Okay, let me see here. I'm wondering if I want it up a bit. I will be going through and straightening out all of my ribbons and all that good stuff. Okay. Yeah, Melly Mel from Sincerely Creative Mom came up with it. Pancake style wreath. She lives in Michigan, where it's super cold and snows a lot, so most people have storm doors and house doors, and there's a space between them. And I live in Indiana, and this kind of wreath is the most practical to have, because it doesn't really look flat from the front. Now, it will from the side, but first of all, it's between two doors. A lot of people don't see the side. Cut this more. I like the beads. Okay, I'm going to fluff out my ribbons. I'm going to hang this up on the wall, get some pictures of it for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Share my video with family and friends. Come back and see me. Oh, and give me a thumbs up if you would. That helps me out on YouTube a lot, you guys. So yeah, here's my Shabby Chic Pancake Style Wreath. I will see you all in my next video. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like on the wall. See you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.